Thank you very much. I have to apologise for that rather intense picture of my face. When someone says, can you send me through a picture, and you're going through Facebook going, no. So this is the best that I could do. So there we go. And now I'm just staring at myself on the computer. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for everyone. Thank you to all the speakers already. It's so exciting to be part of a community. It's so exciting, I think, with Brighton, with having similar people and working for yourself. I quite often spend a lot of time talking to the cats that walk into my dining room. I've sort of started enticing them in because throughout the day you end up talking to yourself. And these cats are amazing, they give great feedback, they're very polite. One did bring me a mouse, which wasn't great, but you know, it's a working relationship and we're kind of getting there. So just to give you an idea of where I'm coming from, sort of where I am at the moment and sort of my plan for the future really. And it was the 18th of August 2010 when I was standing in the doorway of Hove Police Station and I was completely numb and I was completely distraught because the man who said that he loved me had assaulted me the day before. And I was standing alone and I was like, oh, I would do anything not to be in this position. But I was like, right, you know you have to do this and keep going. So I went to the front desk, there was this lovely lady there, I started crying, I was like trying to hold myself together. And then I got led into this police room where I made a statement for 3 or 4 hours and this policewoman came in and took pictures of the bruises that I had. And I took my hoodie that was ripped. And it was during that time, it felt like, to be fair, it was a pretty awesome therapy session. Because I was talking about, first of all, I started talking about the assault that had happened the day before. And then talking about the assault that actually had happened a couple of months before that, but I sort of discredited it. And then the police officer was encouraging me to go back further and further and further in my story. And then at the end of it, after 4 hours, after me detailing 10 years of my relationship, he said to me, I believe you're in an abusive relationship. And I was like, what? Me? And he shared information with me. There was this whole pattern of, for you, those who work in the sector, you know the referral pathways that are sparking up left, right and centre. And I just thought to myself, how have I never had a conversation about domestic abuse at school, with my friends and family? How have I never been in this position? So, as I said, the referral started going. Social services, I've got 3 kids, social services turned up, school nurse who I've never met before turned up, the police were in and out, probation, pretty much every professional, sort of my mental health was being questioned. There's a lot of stuff you have to do within that. And I think about 18 months, 2 years of family court and having my hair cut out for drug testing, all of these things. My poor kids were having to manage this situation. So there's a lot of phone calls from school saying, oh, by the way, your son is running out of his lessons. And I was, again, as you said, sort of becoming an educator. I know it's a very different subject, but that parental place of having to say, please just look at this situation and please just take this all into consideration. So, once the dust had settled, that's when I started talking. And I kind of got wheeled out onto the survivor circuit, sort of locally. The charities were like, oh my God, there's a woman who is speaking about her experience and she's happy to be named. With domestic abuse, it's not the easiest subject to talk about. Obviously, there is very high levels of risk to personal safety. There's a lot of people that experience it that are not comfortable. But I was like, do you know what, I'm so done with this. I used to find myself staring out my kitchen window into my garden. And once the noise of all the services had gone, and everyone was out of my life, and the social services wasn't coming round to my house every 10 days to check that I put the laundry away, there was this quiet, and the noise that filled it was my anger and my frustration at this situation. How dare he do this to me? How dare I put myself in this situation? There was so much blame and so much negativity, most of which is extremely unhealthy. And so I was like, right, I need to turn this situation into a positive. So as I say, there was kind of a lot of survivor work that I was doing. There was a Sussex Police press conference, the local news, BBC, you know, all of that kind of local stuff. And it got to a point where I sort of didn't want to be a career survivor anymore, because I was finding that strength back. And people would look at me like, oh, are you okay? I was like, oh, please stop looking at me like that. I'm not broken. I'm not a weak person. This is my life experience. And actually, as every single day goes on, I'm owning it and I'm smashing it more and more. So through my personal development and through my professional development, I just kept coming back to the question around how do we create real change in our communities? And the answer that I keep coming back to, pretty much every conversation I have, is around building conversations. And this is where the law of the kettle came in. I was just saying earlier that this is quite a new theory that probably popped up in my head when I was probably do the washing up, but I've been talking to my two oldest kids. There's work that I do going into schools. My kids are teenagers. I was trying to engage with them and look like a cool mum, and I said to my son, right, going into schools, what shall I do, what shall I not do? And my son said to me, please don't use that voice. I was like, what voice? And he's like, you know that patronising voice that adults can use sometimes? Like the, hi, my name's Madelaine and I'm here to... I was like, okay, cool, that's fine. And he was like, please will you just be a human being? I was like, cool, human, I can do that. And then I was speaking to my daughter, and you know, she was like, just don't try and be cool. I was like, I am cool, what are you talking about? And she was telling me about the troubles through her experience, through being bullied, through moving schools. You know, she's had quite a turbulent time, but she also is smashing the hell out of her school career now, and I'm so proud of her. And it was with the support of teachers, taking her aside every now and again, making her a cup of tea, sitting down and talking about the really tricky stuff in this really relaxed, informal environment. And she was just like, you know, if you could be like my teacher that makes me cups of tea, you're gonna be golden, you're gonna be sweet. And then quite recently, she's been having some friendship issues. She was phoning me up in the day and she was like, please will you come and pick me up? It's like, there's no way I'm picking you up from school. So I phoned school and I was like, look, she's having a flap. Please just take her out for class for 10, 15 minutes, make her a cup of tea, just have a chat with her, because she feels very often like she doesn't have a voice. Please just make her a cup of tea and sit down, and then I can guarantee you she'll be fine. And they said to me, oh, we don't have a kettle. And I was just like, what? And to me, this was like the fundamental point of engaging positively with my teenage daughter who was having a really crappy day. I was like, everyone needs to have a kettle. Why have you not got a kettle? And it really was based around, I think, a lot of positive conversations happen over a kettle. Making a cup of tea, making a coffee, herbal drink, whatever it may be. Also a glass of wine. And that's sort of how that theory was developing. And it was really about being human in a relaxed space, taking the formality out of it. And that is kind of the fundamental concept of the Rita Project, which is a community interest company I started last year. I spoke to everyone I know about it. I was coming from working in a paid salary position to starting on my own, which I think most of us know is absolutely petrifyingly scary. The cats are great though, as I said, they're very supportive, they're my #1 cheerleaders. And the Rita Project is really designed to kind of sneakily kind of get in the gaps that unfortunately, because of the way that things are at the moment, funding, capacity, all of those kind of sector buzzwords are not reaching. So the work that I'm doing at the moment, I've got so I think about it, 3 funded streams. One is going into schools and talking about domestic abuse, using my lived experience and using my professional knowledge to really kind of give that space for young people to really talk about the issues. And we talk about a lot of things. We talk about toxic masculinity and the expectations on boys to be real men. And we talk about space of, if you are experiencing something, where do you access support? It's something that I'm currently doing at the moment at Cardinal Newman School, which is fantastic, and I thoroughly enjoy it. The 2 other pieces, one is about raising awareness in rural areas, and it's really, that piece of work is really about linking up the urban services with the rural areas. And it's something that I'm learning a lot about the sense of community, and a lot of rural areas are losing that sense with the closure of post offices and the local shops and things like that. And the last one is working locally with William Collier House, which is a local sort of hostel that people come from street homeless. 25% of those women coming from street homelessness. There's a whole bunch of really sort of negative things that wouldn't be experienced, and it's offering that safe space just to kind of have a bit of peace and quiet and start to use their creative space and kind of reclaim, as you were saying, around that sense of home and self. So the main motivation for the Rita Project, and when I wake up and I go, right, what are you going to do today? And I just think, would things have been different for me if I'd ever had that conversation? And that's something, it's not something I beat myself up about, it's a question that keeps me motivated every day. So asking you guys, and I don't think that English people need to be asked twice, pop on the kettle, start a conversation, and just see the amazing things that can happen. Thank you very much.